This is Yerushalmi Berachos staff member according to the Otzvah article pagination. It is Chav Zayin Amud Aleph according to the Vilna pagination. And we're up to, we did the first few words on the page. We're up to Rabbi Zavdi, Brady, Rabbi Yaakov, Baris Chaya, B'Shem, Rabbi Yonah, Irshma, Yonah, Rochok, a city where the spring, where the Toivel is far away. Harez Koy Shema, is read Shema, V'Yari V'Toivel V'Olam Espalo. In other words, since Mount is later, so therefore you say Shema before going to mikveh, and then daven afterwards. Imu Adam Mesuyam. Now, if the Gersa is Mesuyam, then it means if he's a distinguished person. Also Kamayim Rachel, that by definition, it's always considered to be a distant spring, even though it's close by. The Moshe has a novel interpretation says Mother Mesuyam is a fat person. It's hard for him to get to the mikveh. But I think the easiest explanation to accept is that the Sefer Charedim actually changes the girsa to Imaya Adam Mitzunon. If he's a person who is cold and has a cold or is cold, so then he doesn't have to go to early in the morning to the mikveh when it's still cold. He can wait till later in the day when obviously it's going to warm up a bit. Okay. Piska, below if he can't come out of the water and get dressed in time, his kasser mind because he should cover himself in the water and read Shema. Masisim Bachurin, our mission is about where the water is muddied. I would assume if it's clear water, also it's forbidden because the heart can see the erva inside the water, clear water. If he can muddy up the waters by stirring up the mud at the bottom of the mikveh, Yachori should do so. Tani Machimutzos Adam Arba Amos, you distance yourself from the excrement of being 4 amos. So it's a club in Arba Amos, from the excrement of dogs 4 amos. Uvishah Shuno saying Oros, when you put the dog excrement in order to tan hides, evidently that was an essential component of that process. Rabbi Yirmiyah Hashem is there, and the Vela Shesarcha. No, I'm sorry. There's the it seems that the something's missing here, and it seems that it should say something to the effect of if it's in a tannery, then as far as you can smell it. Just going to Oros, it should be different. It should be taken even further. You can distance itself even further. That at least would be the shot if the Yerushalmi is in sync with the Bavli on Daf Chafei Marav, where the Bavli says that when it's in a mission, when it's being Mabed Oros, then you have to distance yourself more than 4 amos. The alternative to read here would be to make a machlokas Bavli Yerushalmi and say the Tzolas and Klavim, you only mark Arba Amos when you put it together with the Oros. But I think it's more mistab to say that the Bavli and Yerushalmi are in sync, and normally it's for Amos, except when it's in the tanning vat when it's particularly repulsive. Rabbi Yoshem Rabbi Zera Nevela Shesarcha. If you have a nevela which went bad, it's decomposing. So like you Arba Amos. You have to distance yourself from it 4 amos. Evidently, it's not so. It says dafka so a meragline. Anything which is repulsive, you have to distance yourself 4 amos from it before you can say Shema. I'm okay. The Mishnah says this. Mehem uminatzoa arba amos. This is the Mishnah had said that mehem going on Mei Mishra, which is of course not the same thing as saw. So we see that any other source of any other which is repulsive, also is the 4 amos away. Rabbi Ami, Rabbi Yami, Rabbi Shammai, Tipotem Misha Shel Kovsim. So the way the Charedim learns this, he says, Klamar Amikam Raya Klav. No proof. The Dilma, B'Mishal Kovsim, Shel Chavskim Gorim B'Chlachim B'Tzor. Maybe it's the Mishra was talking about is where they're actually washing garments which have excrement on them. But perhaps that any other bad smell or repulsive thing, I should say, you don't have to distance yourself from it. So there's no right for a Mishnah. Okay, Ramana said, so if it's talking about the Mishnah of in which you're doing the laundry, so then it says, why did you say lo mayim roim lo mishra? Even if let's say the main mishra is the laundry, but what's mayim roim? Mayim roim that must mean that it is bad water, brackish water, whatever the case may be. And it is not. It's repulsive, even though it doesn't have tzoa in it. Basically, that's what the Rizbaz says in this page over here. Says more further. Tani kodesh yochel lechol kazayis dargon. If you have a child who can eat a kazayis of grain, portion mitzvah also. You have to distance yourself from his tzoa. Mimei raglav, and from his urine, arbamos. At that point, it becomes disgusting. If you can't eat a kazayis of grain, ain't partial mitzvah may raglav. You have to distance yourself from his excrement and or from his urine, of course, as long as it doesn't smell. Rabbi, I'm not sure this is. I'm looking in the. I see. In the Bible, it says davar acher. Not sure why. The article takes it out. So we just have bone from Rabbi Avo. That's very Avo. We name my portion between us and May Raglov. Why do you have to distance yourself from that point, from the tzoa and the meraglaim of a katan? So he said, "I'm a little roast because he has bad thoughts, and as a result, evidently his excrement has a bad smell." So the Gemara says, "What are you talking about? Below katanu, it's the child. What bad thoughts does he have?" Says Gemara, nevertheless, v'lo amar lo v'lo ksiv. He said back to them, does it say ki yetzer lev adam raminu rav? The yetzer of a person is bad from his youth, but amar bina mina rav ksiv. It's not. It's been chaser avav. From the time that he comes out of the mother's womb, and he comes out in the world, he already has Yetzar, which is the Shita of Antininus, I believe in Sanhedrin, where Rebbe held the Yetzar comes in earlier, but the Antininus says comes out when he comes out of the womb, which of course we saw a question about Esav, and he was kicking to go out to Batei Abodazar. So other questions that's dealt with. Okay, you can come up with your own answer. Rabbi Yosef Amar Marchikim Miglal Behema Arba Amos. You didn't sell from the excrement of an animal for Amos. Rabbi Shmuel Bar Yitzchak Amar Barachim. Only if it's soft, or if it's hard and dry, then it doesn't have that status. Also, it's only from a donkey, because evidently a donkey's tzoa when it's moist is particularly disgusting. It's talking about when the chamor is coming from a trip, and evidently because of the exertion, its tzoa is again more disgusting. Levi Omar Machin Mitzvahs Chazir Arba Amos. This is from the excrement of a pig, 4 Amos. Tani Ken Machin Mitzvahs Chazir Arba Amos. Mitzvahs Hanamoya. Also from the it's I believe it's a weasel. You have to also it's from that 4 Amos. Mitzvahs tani golim arba amos, and from the excrement of fowl, it's also for amos. Rabbi Yossi bar Abun b'shem Rabbi Chuna said, "Uvad ba'adumim." So the Moshe says only talk about red fowl, red chickens and such like, because they have particularly repulsive excrement. The different interpretations of that, perhaps the interpretation maybe the soa itself. We're talking about red soa. Then the Charedim actually takes that shot as the primary shot. So both shatim exist here. Charedim brings that both. He does himself from a bad smell 4 amos. Rabbi Ami misof reach ra arba amos. From the place where you can no longer smell it, from there you have to distance yourself 4 amos. That's if the smell is behind you. Front of amakum she'ev rosa, so you have to distance yourself to a place where you can no longer see it. Evidently, when you have it in your line of vision while davening, that makes the davening repulsive itself. Like the following case: Rabbi Laya b'chavraya, Rabbi Laz in the Bavli, and the Chevra Haviyasim Kame Pundika Baramsha. They were sitting in front of an inn in the evening. Amr, they say, Mao Memar Mila Daraisa. Can we say words of Torah here? So evidently this was a place where there was discussing stuff, but they couldn't see it because it was night. So he says, so can we say Torah here? So I'm going to make him the have a yamama. Since we're daytime, havina chamyon makom, we would see that whatever disgusting stuff is in front of us. I got confused before when I told you it was the Charedim. It's the Rash Sibilio who brings down both and says the first shot is the correct one, but Charedim also brings down a couple of shatim. Anyway, be that as it may. So he says that since you would, if during the day you would see it, so therefore you can be able to chamyon makuneon baram kidon aser. As a result, baram is the way the Rashi explains it is bivadai. Certainly, it's aser now. The word baram usually means however or something to that effect, but here evidently it means that he's confirming that it is aser. Says more further. Tani Rav Sharei, the Tani Rav Echot Sharei, Echot Shamayim. If you have a bucket with full of excrement or a bucket full of urine, you have this from in front of 4 amos from it before you start learning or saying Shema, etc. Shalivna Mita, the one which is in front of the bed, no seitocha maiko shu v'kori. You can put a little bit of water into it, and then already you can read Shema there. The way the Charedim explains it is that we're talking about not a bucket or a chamber pot which is used constantly day and night for urine or for excrement, but this one which is in front of the bed, meaning that it's there for occasional use at night if someone was not able to make it to the outhouse, and therefore it's not as disgusting. And therefore, if you dilute the urine in some water, it's okay. You can read Shema there, etc. And if not, Aikra. You can't do it, you shouldn't read Shema there. He says specifically a revius. They can read Vimlav Aikra. Malkadei revius, what is the amount of revius? Revius b'toch revius echad. Revius toch revius, sorry. So the Radbaz says, some of the tzerch revius al kol revius shehishtin. Need a 1-to-1 ratio. Revius for every revius of urine. Hasek omar de enokid el echad klikot and bech klikot el fil ashton arbei dai revius echad. Now the Gemara in the next line is going to say that's not true. The Revius doesn't have the one-to-one ratio. It doesn't matter. As long as you put in Revius, that suffices. If it's the chamber pot is behind the bed, so there you can read standing in front of the bed. If it's in front of the bed, you shouldn't read Shema. Rabbi Lezer, Shimon Lezer, if you traklin eser, even if you're a large hall, traklin is considered to be a large hall, which is 10 by 10 amos. And the pot is all the way on the other side. You should not reach Shema opposite it until you cover it or until you put it under your bed. Rabbi Yaakov bar Acha b'shem Rabbi Chia bar Va, Hori Rabbi Chanina Tarte. He passed in to two things. In other words, the way the Mashbiach explains, not like Panei Moshe, he said required two conditions, that it should be covered and also should be under the bed. Like Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar said, right, that it's it was like Shimon ben Elazar, but he required both, not just not either one, but he required both. They do both of them. Otherwise, the word tarte is very difficult. If you have a minuscule amount of excrement, you can nullify it by spitting on it and diluting it. They were sitting at home, they saw excrement. Come Rabbi Yaakov bar Zapti, Rokak Allah. He got up and he spit on it in order to dilute it. This is a mashal, which we find some occasionally. Like it's like a fish, which goes from the sea immediately into the frying pan. So it's a way the Mepharshim explain it. You have it in the Sahih Gemara. I don't know who says it, but that means that we just turned the halacha, and immediately he's able to utilize it. Just like halacha learned before, and this is in real time. Immediately he was able, like the fish from the sea, immediately to the pan, to make use of this new halacha which they just learned. Says more further. If you have a box full of svarim, you put it at the head of the bed. The low, you don't put it at the foot of the bed, which evidently is considered to be degrading to it. The bed has to be 10 tfachim high, so it's reshus unto itself. Now, it seems that you have to put it under the bed at the head, not under the bed at the feet, and in order that the bed should be separate from the sfarim, in order that a person can have marital relations, then it has to be 10 tfachim high. So the under the bed has at least, even though my sukkah doesn't have a status necessarily of it's machlokes of a status of OL or not, but here it's enough of an OL that's considered to be a separate shus, and then you can have relations on the bed. But the straps of the bed, which holds up the mattress, they should not be touching the bed, and again, that would be a lack of cover. Rabbi Yossi ben Komei, Rabbi Shmuel bar Yitzchak, Kadad Rabbi Chuna. Rabbi Yasa Paskin in the place of Rabbi Shmuel bar Yitzchak, like that which was stated by Rav Chuna. Why was that a chiddush? I'm not sure why it tells us where he was. No, don't know. Not sure why it actually says that he passed in the place of Shumbar Maybe that's McCurry that was Shmuel by Yitzchak. I don't know. Okay. The Sefer Torah Moabites. The person should not have relations if there's a Sefer Torah with him in the house. The Sefer Torah is wrapped in a cloth. Or it's put into chalon is like a locker in this case. Shugavah started talking, which is 10 fucking high, which makes it a rishus unto itself, mutter. It's permissible. Shubin Levi Omer, Osa Lo Kilion. It's not enough to put it in that locker. You have to actually also have a curtain in front of it. Then you're allowed to have relations with the Sefer Torah in the house. And now we got precisely to the bottom of that map.